You by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth Merrow. I'm Anthony Mormino, and to quote the Steve Martin joke, I don't know if you remember years ago, we talked about income taxes and not paying them. And when the government calls, you just say, I forgot. Same thing with Anthony Mormino's blazer today. So I'm really hoping it warms up a little bit, because if I did have said blazer on, it would be a perfect morning. So it's a perfect morning for my co-host.
It is.
It's actually pleasant.
Day, yeah.
I've been in here a little while. It's warmed up significantly the time I've been here, and it usually gets warmer and warmer. But Steve Martin, I forgot to pay my taxes. I forgot the blazer, but it's a beautiful day today. Well, we were muddy and sealed all day yesterday. I'm not making any bold predictions, but I would think the track would be in better case and shape, and I think we'll have the turf racing.
Yeah,
I mean,
because by the end of the day yesterday, it wasn't really doing anything, and so far this morning, sunny and a little breeze, both of which are going to help the situation by the time post time rolls around. So yeah, knock wood, I will expect, and we'll check as the morning progresses if there's any news on that front. What are we being told?
They're on the turf. Yeah, that makes. I mean, they protect when they can, but they want to run turf racing field size. Just a couple quick notes on yesterday, Seth. First off, I don't believe in the announcer's jinx, but as soon as I start to extrapolate about how well, anecdotally, I think the general public does with betting on off surfaces, we have a rarity. And I tell you, folks, this happens about once every 2 or every 3 years. All losing favorites.
Oh.
And for the second time
you're right.
in 6 racing days, I can't believe this, we've had at least 3 odds-on horse losing. We had 4 yesterday, odds-on losing. And that's 3 in the last Wednesday. And then doing the math, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, we've had at least 3 losing odds-on horses. And I remarked last week that I don't recall them being 2-1 racing week, and now we had one to kick off this week. And as I said, now there was let me see if I have this correct. It was like 3 or 4 second choices. What's funny is
they're all $5 and change. That had to be a fairly close up.
Well,
second choice.
The odds-on horses.
All right.
Now, what's ironic about every losing favorite, if my math is right, we had it was kind of like, was there a $20 winner? There wasn't a $20 winner.
No, there was a lot in the teens.
Yeah, $540 to $1920, and then so that's kind of truly a real, like, they had the second and third choices winning almost everything. The couple of fifth choices, the Believe in Magic. I also made the note that in the races where there were a bunch of first-time starters, that the vets ran 1-2 in the opener. There was only 2 vets in the second. The vet won. Race 5, the only vet won. Race 6, there was 2 vets in the winner. And I mean, these are just like factually true, but my point is, I just handicap in the way that I think they have an edge. If you're saying to me, do you want the experience or not? You want the experience. That doesn't mean, we're probably going to see a really good horse on Saturday make their debut.
Yeah, I like the debut runners because you can find a little something there. But, yeah, experience counts. There's no question about it. And, up here, I think first-time starters are maybe a little more attractive. As you say, they're the big days where they're pointing for. And so,
I mean, I saw, I get confused because I'm already on to Sunday, which you probably are finished with. But, there's one where there's like, they all showed up.
Yeah.
Like, 5 of them are going home going, oh, that's what happens on Saturdays. Because that's become kind of a theme. Not only the Saturday on Traverse Day, obviously Uncle Mo is the standard bearer, and then now it seems like Whitney, 2 days when your clients might be in attendance and you want to.
Yeah, the big days always produce some interesting maiden races. I was surprised Soundbite. I liked Soundbite in the last race and ran. I was actually home at that point, and I was screaming at the TV because Manny had the momentum, and I wasn't sure, but then went by nicely. Got $14 and change on a horse that got the surface they wanted. I thought looked okay, and some local connections involved. So congratulations to the folks involved with Soundbite. Nice way to wrap up the day.
What was interesting about Soundbite was 8-1 on the morning line, and the entry mate scratched out. So then you look at that. The other thing was, kudos to my neighbor in the Morrissey. I had the neighbor that was 10-1 on the morning line, but they made Doc Sullivan the third choice in the wagering, and they scored the victory.
Yeah,
I was, I ran third with a big price, etc. But I thought it was an interesting day. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best day to come to the racetrack and hang out, but I think, as I said, 4 odds-on losing favorites. No favorite won a race, which is, I'd say, on average once a year.
Yeah, the recap here. There's a winning favorites little section today, meaning yesterday, 0. Meet today 57, 35% on the button winning favorites so far at the main.
Yeah, that 0 happen. It doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen often. You're absolutely
You know what
right.
I mean? And one of the other things we have to talk about is and this is true. This is not the old man thing. This is the mathematic angle. In the old days, the meet was 24 days. So if it happened once a meet, okay, well, now the meet's 40 or 44, depending on how you want to use your math. So, you would almost think there'd be 2 a year. So there's, some things in place. Same thing we say about, field size went away. They went, and I tell you what I'm starting to do, Seth. I'm starting to, not only was there 4 losing odds on favor, I think there was an even money shot that lost. He didn't quite make the barrier because I think he was $1 and a nickel. So that's 5 races at even money or less. You talk about correctly how much they pound favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the days. I mean, I don't know if imagine, I don't know if on a given day you would have 5 horses, 5 races, 5 out of 10 at even money or less. I don't remember that being the case. I used to think of an odds-on horse was a special thing almost. It was, and usually it's in features.
Well, I say it all the time when I'm in handicapping in the afternoon. 3 to 5 would be Secretariat at some point. Now you're 3 to 5 at Finger Lakes and a $5,000 claimer, and it's like this ain't Secretariat.
And that's why I say when people say, "How do you go against so many?" I go, first off, I've seen them lose, and I just have that thing that really special horses, after a long resume of success, were 3 to 5. I mean, I bet you think Secretariat was ever 1 to 5.
I would say no, but I'm not sure.
Let that sink in, folks.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. Easily one of the, it's unarguable that he's one of the 3 greatest horses of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Most people have him first. The next group have him at second, et cetera. But nobody has him 8th. So, I wonder if no, I can't get it because it won't be up. I noticed you had the flight line things. I'm going to look it up to see if Secretariat was 1 to 5 ever.
Yeah, I would
You
guess.
should let that sink in.
Yeah.
That, Big Red was never thought of being that much of a cinch to win a horse race. So, anything else before we get into
I will hit
schedule
on,
today?
I do have my August
place to be,
now.
baby.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing of the corny things. This might be the first year where we've had live racing at the spa where there are more racing days not held in August.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. I hadn't even thought about that. You're including June.
Well, live racing days here. Because I think the difference between it was probably close last year, but us getting the Independence Day festival, I think,
and
puts it over.
Start the whole,
There's 1 day in September, but I think let that sink in. That's 2 for the day.
That is
Big Red,
that one is crazy. Today, Clubhouse Racebook, it is the Win-A-Bet. You can go down to the Racebook and have a little extra fun with the Win-A-Bet down at the Racebook 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Same spot that tomorrow, King of the Hill. So get a little extra fun today and tomorrow at the Racebook. Also tomorrow, Bounty Bet. It is the late pick 5 right here at Saratoga. Just play with your Capital OTB bet account. You get a shot at that nice chunk of change with the Bounty. Sunday at the Clubhouse Racebook Knockout Challenge. That should be fun as well. So all of that coming up, Capital OTB. Like last month, as we roll into August, lots of fun promotions throughout the Saratoga season. This month at Capital OTB, you can always go to the website, capitalotb.com.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but is win a bet like I get to make, I win to, I win. Oh, I feel bad. That's a bad job on my spot. You're not supposed to do that to your co-host, but
I don't.
I feel horrible now.
No, because there are different. I'm trying to think which one the winner bet is.
Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go to a story. It didn't happen very often, but one of the giveaways was like a $2 mutual bet ticket here. Do you ever remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And my thought was, are you the type of person that goes and plays a 5-2 shot trying to put $7? I was always like, no way. You're betting the superfecta. You take that free money, free bet, and you try and I'm not betting $2 to show on the favorite, so I get the $2.
And I'm virtually certain now. Win a bet, you toss your losing tickets into a bin up to a certain amount, and if yours gets pulled, you get a bet worth that amount.
That's okay. That's that.
I'm virtually certain that's the winner.
I think that's a great one.
That's
so you're saying
promotion.
like the ceiling. So like if I put $10 in, I get 10.
You get $10.
That might be the best one most attractive one I've ever seen there.
Yeah, the mystery voucher. I think the Racing Commission for some reason, because
I
at
think you're
OTB
right.
we used to do mystery voucher too. I thought those were kind of fun.
I think they were great.
Yeah.
I mean, I would bet you if you polled people that regularly come to the racetrack and said, instead of like the mug or the hats or the things, other giveaways, it said every giveaway is going to be a mystery voucher. I think, except for the newbies, they'd be like, yes, this is what we really want, is a mystery voucher. And I think what we're really going to get, though, is the DePaula Play of the Day.
Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Cox, the Brooklyn Cowboy here with your DePaula Play of the Day. Capital OTB from beautiful Saratoga Race Course. We've been giving you our plays of the days on Fridays and Saturdays throughout the meet, and after showing a flat bet profit in the first 3 years in doing this, we're just about at the break-even point, pretty much halfway through the meet. So let's get right to it. In an extremely difficult card to embrace, we're going to go with a KISS horse here, K-I-S-S. We call that the Keep It Simple Stupid horse. In race 8, the number 2 Omaha Pistol. This chestnut chap has been a part of the Super in all of his starts but one, and although he's lost ground in the lane in each and every outing, we only see one other runner in the race with his kind of early hoof. So perhaps today he gets a bit more brave on the front end. From a DRF formulator point of view, Rice is a crispy 6 of 10 with maiden claiming dirt stock who crashed the party 37 to 44 days back while owning a $2.91 return on investment as well. The jockey-trainer combination do substantially better together than apart, and this one looks like a logical 1-2-3 player. So once again, our DePaula Play of the Day for Capital OTB in Saratoga is in race 8, the number 2 Omaha Pistol. Have a great day out there, and we'll see you at the track.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on the backstretch at Clare Court. Just a little foreshadowing here. Omaha Pistols going to be carrying a lot of weight here, folks. Later on, we get to the 8th race.
I don't know if that's good or bad. We will find out.
We're going to find out. 2-year-olds maiden claimers in for 35, going 6 in the opener.
I am 3, 2, 1, and 5. Have number 3. What are we doing on top? You know, the aforementioned horse with some experience. Again, I like to go with firsters if I can find a little something. In this one, there were some firsters that are okay, but I do think the experience of what are we doing counts. Debuted in Maiden Special Company, showed some punch before fading, had a little trouble in that race, then drops in for the tag and gets the second place finish, close up second as the beaten favorite. That was down at Delaware. We've remarked a few times within the past week or so. Somebody said it to me early in the meet. Now, they said, watch New York trainers shipping to Delaware, maybe not doing well, coming back to New York and winning at a little bit of a price. That's not the scenario here, but we've seen some other Delaware. And it isn't.
That's none of the prices. This is a Maryland trainer at a short price coming in.
Oh.
This is like Seth had 3 boxes and all of them are unchecked.
I
expanded it, by the way.
It is Michael Dubb, though, so it's a New York-based owner.
Okay, but I think that it has a wider. I'm using it more often, less because I think the Delaware is a thing this summer.
It seems to be. So I'll go with what are we doing on top. Moneybags Milton in the second spot. There was a sibling called Miss American Pie, third in debut, won the second start of the career. Irad Ortiz is on board. And then one more, Freud. The lone racing sibling for this one called Fine Finish, won its career debut. A couple of workouts underneath, I think, indicate Tommy Amos might have a runner that is a little bit geared up. So in the opener for me, 3, 2, 1, and 5.
And I'm taking a flyer here. I mean, the 1 is 9 to 5 on the board for Tom Amos on debut with a couple works, but that's not a direction that I could go. Maybe this horse will be, win by 5. I don't know, but 613 Joe G23 intrigues me at a big price here. He's 10 to 1 on the morning line. I think that makes him the longest shot. I think we'd be in position to get, especially if word is out on Tom Amos, any of these horses. Amelia Green won the other day. So, I'm definitely I feel as if I'm definitely getting lost in the mutual shuffle here. But Brooke from the rail on debut was wearing shadow roll and blinkers. You're kind of thinking education type thing. Didn't change leads very well. And I think it's one of those cases where, the final running position and beaten length is up for debate because their entry mate, the exactor ran away. I think Reside was a Todd Pletcher, Mike Rapoli runner. This is one of those restricted races and the entry mate to Joe G23 ran second. That exactor ran away. Reside just kind of swooped up and held off. But I think the debut was better than looks, and they drop in for a tag, and I wouldn't think they would think they're going to get claimed. I took the firster, who's 9 to 5 on the board, and when I think part of the greatness of David Aragona is you can. I believe, he's heard. He set a 9 to 5 on a firster because he's heard stuff. I trust that. And then what are we doing? The Delaware shipper, but 613 in the opener.
I do love the name of the 5, Caitlin's 3.
Yes,
I love it. I admit I do like watching her. If I flip by and there's a game, because she goes across the half court line and it goes up and they often swish.
She's got tremendous range.
She is something with the threes. Second race today, optional claimer, C condition, $150,000 tags. There is no one in for the tag. Mile and 3/16 on the grass.
Well, it is like, what is it pronounced? I used to call it Haley's Comet, but I think it's called I think I pronounced it. 4X. This is a 4X. This happens about once every 76 years.
You're saying they've changed the pronunciation of Haley's Comet?
Is it called Haley's Comet?
I mean, it always was, but I could see in this day and age somebody going back and going, no, we've had it wrong for
100 years. Yeah. The Aldebaran for horse racing fans. But this is a 4X, and you don't see those too often anymore. We didn't see them very often years ago. 3X was the ceiling, but now I'm 254, and I am Money Supply. I like very much here. Just take a look at two of the races. The most recent effort. Now, first off, the rails were down. In my opinion, even turf courses set their own record. This was a new course record. Encino, you might remember, was on the Triple Crown Trail the year before. This is the Godolphin Runner. Put it this way. Money Supply was, guessing here, about 4 lengths off the lead. And they ran the final 5/16 in 28 and 4. I mean, how are you going to? He would have to have run 28 seconds flat, which is not doable. The opening verse down at Churchill Downs with the rails up, that was Kentucky Derby week, I think had no chance on that turf course. Luis Saez, I think, is going to put this horse more into the race. I think he's going to have a pace. I'm on board with Money Supply. For second, number 5, Seth's second pick, Signator. No chance against redistricting, who went on to win the UN. You see that little italics? Well, that next race was the UN. He paid $260 in the Monmouth Stakes. I just think this horse gets, his one win at Tampa was a last to first. And I have to tell you, he looked like he was being pulled back to be last. It was the first race since July. So maybe listen, settle him back and get some run. And he was big. And then he just jumped up to big stakes races. Well, this is a tough spot too. And then for third, Wolfie's Dynagos for Jonathan Thomas. Third start after a year layoff, 254 in what I think is a fantastic 5-horse field.
I'll go 4-5-3, Wolfie's Dynagos on top. I think this horse is legit, but more importantly, boy, that workout. Now, I wonder if that was maybe a little faster than they wanted right on top of the race. We'll see today. But third start back off a nice win in the stake last time down in Laurel. The Bullet workout all added up to me. Signator, as you say, going out for our friends at West Point Thoroughbreds, a Shug trainee, I think comes in off a couple of stakes that 4th and 5th place finish, but ran in a fashion that I think is going to mix it up with this group. And Goldeneye, third start of the season for the Ken McPeak trainee. Another one, a couple of good numbers most recently, including a win last time down at Colonial. So I think they're kind of being clever and coming up off of that win down in Virginia last time with a horse in very good form. So 4, 5, and 3. And you mentioned Aldebaran and Aldebaran. As you were saying that, who was the Pittsburgh Steeler guy who tweaked his name? There was a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he played for years. And then all of a sudden, he said, no, you pronounce it.
I thought that was Tony.
Yeah.
He's a cowboy.
Okay.
And then,
he played in college for Pittsburgh. And
University of Pittsburgh. It was Tony Dorsett.
Yeah.
Then when he got to college, it was Dorsett.
Yeah.
Tony Dorsett. Oh, my goodness. Apparently, you hit the wrong.
We're getting the
hit the hot button.
The Baltimore fan in the
producer just went crazy in our ear mentioning it's the University of Pittsburgh. Take a quick break.
Yeah. We're taking a
368
quick break. We haven't done 3 yet, though.
Oh, haven't done 3. I apologize. See, I
thought maybe we changed it to 2.
No, we didn't. I got yelled at. And as I mentioned earlier in the meet, we have 3 price points now for starter allowance. It was $50 for a very long time, and now we have 12,500 going scheduled the 1-turn mile.
The morning line favorite here, Mercy Warren. David Aragona nails it most of the time, so
Yeah,
I'm going to be interested to see. I did not see 9-5 on this horse off the last couple of starts. So now I'm going to be interested to see where the betting public goes. But I'm 2-1, 5, and 3. It Takes Heart on top for me. Nice win, 2 back. Was claimed out of that for 10, and then bounced up to optional claimer starter allowance and showed some punch before fading in the first start off the claim for Linda Rice. I think is a snug fit with this bunch in the second start off the claim. Gone and Forgotten, Ilkay Cantermachi second off the claim. He does very well off the claim and did so in a relatively similar race last time. Had a condition, however, but I think in the current form is logical. And then I put Mercy Warren in the third spot. As they say, there are back numbers. If we rebound to those, all right, but I'm not sure I'm sussing out anything that says we're necessarily going to get to that. So I'm 2-1, 5, and 3.
I thought he'd be like fourth choice.
Yeah,
I mean, if you go by the buyers, if you want to take that January 19th off the turf at the fairgrounds, but the rest of them, I'm not so sure that he's fourth or fifth choice. And how is Gone and Forgotten, goes in here? I'm with you. As you can see, I don't even have him on the board. You have him in for third. I'm 2, 3, 6 here. It Takes Heart to me as Linda Rice runner. I'm looking for the repeat of the 1 mile, 1-turn race. And I'm inside, which helps. And I'll tell you, Naira's staying with that shot a little longer. Even a newcomer to the sport could see how difficult it is on the outside of these 1 mile dirt races. April Antics for a second. Ed Barker's runner second off the claim. I like the more recent effort. And then Altered Shot. If they go on 7 days rest, I think we're in it to win it, in it to run well. But 2, 3, 6, and I completely agree with Mercy Warren. And I'll tell you one thing. It's like at no point would I be surprised if this horse is 8-5 and wins.
Yeah, I mean, David does such a great job. I'm intrigued to see how it's going to break out. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back, continue. I'll look at the Friday card. Stay tuned.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report, live from our Clare Court location. Seth, Merrow, and Anthony Mormino taking a look at the Friday card after a rainy Thursday, but a gorgeous Friday. I mean, the sun is shining. Temperatures have now moderated from a few days ago. And so it's a really, really nice day if you're planning day ahead. Up fourth race today at Saratoga. Maiden specials vying for $100,000, a mile and a 16th. On the grass. Just
a quick note, would it surprise you that Vekoma has there's been about 200 flat races and Vekoma has one winner?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Although I don't think there's been a lot of starters.
Okay.
I mean, do you know offhand the number of starters?
That I don't have.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a whole lot.
All right.
So far.
Obviously, I shouldn't say that. I mean, maybe because of how beautiful summer's been, maybe the turf will be it was not going to rattle your feet hard, but maybe it'll still be firm. I mean, it's been a glorious
you're right.
last 3 weeks. So that type of rain, I'm 6'4", 8 here. Seth and I would kind of double up on a couple. Gracie Prego, my top pick for Al Stall. Speaking of stallions, I've touched on this. And I will say that it's not the reason, but I made the note with not this time, Seth. I think he's already had multiple 2-year-old filly winners on the turf. And I think of not this time as not singularly a dirt stallion, but part of his wonderfulness / early greatness has been the variety. The slop didn't surprise me the other day, as I mentioned. So, and our good friend Al Stall, limited runners this year, already has the winner going well. And I go back to the workout like 5 best, 36 breezing, and I'm just taking the flyer for the turf racing. Number 4, Blue Madame, an offspring of Dubai. I can't let that ship sail. $500,000. And then for 3rd, can't let the Kingman, Tax Holiday, Chad Brown's runner. I still think Kingman as a stallion flies under the radar up here. It lasted at least 2 years as a middle distance turf stallion. You could still get a good price. So 648.
Well, I'll give you some info in a second. Not floating under the radar with the connections, obviously.
No.
Grazie Prego. Yesterday, I said Grazie, and Frank Miramati had it right. Grazie, it was the Italian pronunciation. And I just looked up what's Grazie Prego, and it's essentially the same thing. It's just a little additional to thank you. And
when we were in Italy for our first anniversary, my wife on multiple occasions said gracias. I said, you're in the wrong country. It's close, the Romance language, but that's not how you say it in this country. We can go to Spain if you like, but we're in Italy and it's guts.
I didn't use that one, but I will note the Dam Winner debut. It's the first fall, so I didn't use that one. But as you say, not this, that little bit of breeding there. It's that kind of race. But I put Tax Holiday on top by Kingman. I don't know why the Racing Forum doesn't put this information in, but you see a horse like this with the foreign breeding, Klarovich, Chad Brown. I looked up, and this horse sold for just under $250,000 at Tatter Sales last October. So it was an expensive auction purchase for the connections. And again, I'm not sure why the Racing Forum couldn't include that. But
so you're saying they don't do the European sales?
No, they're not up in there in the PPs. Whereas the
we're not living in the information age or anything.
It's funny that they. But so there it is, just under $250,000. Auction purchase, steady string of workouts. It's Chad, it's Klarovich, with breeding that says this horse should be interesting in the debut from Connections, who are typically ready in debut. Smart Sugar in the 2nd spot, sibling called Just Distorted, 2nd in debut, won the 2nd start. Bill Mott trainee, nice string of workouts. Blue Madam in the 3rd spot. Dubai, a nice sire of first-time starters. And that this on the bottom side, again, first foal to race, but the Dam won the first 2 starts of her career. Overall, in 6 starts, 4 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. So I thought there was a win early there from a Chad Brown trainee. John Stewart purchased the horse for $500 million. If you're not familiar, he's a guy who's gotten into the game. $500
million?
Big. Did I say 500 million? 500,000. Yeah, I don't think we're up to that. I don't think we're in that stratosphere yet. $500,000. Scratch It, I think, is interesting with some win early. And I will note, I didn't use the Mark Cassey runner, America the Great, but they paid well over $1 million for that one. And that one certainly I may regret leaving that one out. 8, 7, 4, and 5.
One quick thing. How much did you say Tax Holiday sold for? Like
exactly $242,000.
Right. I mean, the only reason I bring it up is because Kingman stands for $150, so that's usually not a good sign, right?
Well,
it's supposed to be like 3 times the price of what you stand.
Yeah.
Just as a very soft barometer, but the reason I bring it up is I think sometimes.
I mean, if it's less, you're definitely.
Sometimes like we realize we have great fans up here. They don't follow, but and Kingman didn't race in the United States. He hasn't raced for 10 years. But the $150,000 stud fee should tell you something. On to the 5th, Claimers 2L going 7/8.
4-6-2-1 Fortuna Mia on top, stepping out of stakes company last time. Ran, well beaten 6. The 2 races just before that I thought were okay, especially 3 back. 3 back was a solid number. I think going to this 50,000 conditional level is going to offer us an opportunity to get back to that. Cadena, probably the one to beat. But I say that it's Chad Brown and short price on the morning line. And the race 2 back, number-wise, is good enough to do it. But it's bookended by a couple of less, races that
efforts.
offer less enthusiasm. Let's put it that way. So I have the horse. I think the horse is a player, but the 2 poor performances scared me away from moving the horse up. She's complicated off the claim for Linda Rice. I think this one will offer up a competitive effort in this group, and it could be competitive enough to get it done. I didn't use Margot Treasure, but rooting for that one for our friends at Saratoga and Barclay Tag, and I think could be a player as well. I think it's a competitive race. 4-6-2-1.
Well, it's a 6-horse field, and we don't have the 5 covered. So, and I don't have a big feel for this race. So, landing on the 4 and the 6, that doesn't work for me when I just don't see it. So I'm 1-4-3. First time in for a tag. The Phil Bauer runner has been freshened up, I'll say. I won't say laid off since April 18th, and an offspring of Twirling Candy. It's not much for me to sink my teeth into in a race that I just think is, it's hard to make heads or tails of it. I have, 5 of the 6 live in the race. I don't want to get stuck. So, and Trolling Good Time. I mean, it's 3-1 on the morning line, third choice. I'm basically, you got to look through this to find a fast dirt race sprint. You want to know how much you have to look through it? In the 8th career start, you have the debut, which was impressive, and then the off the turf, off the layoff. 1-4-3 for me.
Race number 6 this afternoon. We are looking at maiden special 2-year-olds. They're going to go 5.5 on the grass.
8-4-2 for me, folks. Supreme Good, the Irish bred for Ken McPeak. He, I think, is, kind of stated in public. He's, first-time starters, etc. Might not be his specialty, but 2 back. A scintillating workout to be the fastest of 91. I mean, that's moving. We're on the outside, and we're 20-1. And as I said, you get to ask more questions. The bigger your price, the bigger the price you have, and Extreme Good. To me, I'm willing to give it a chance when there's a lot of guessing going on for me. Is it Schwarzenegger? I guess, right? They must have got right the 4. Get permission of Wesley Ward's runner. Not this time. This is a 2-year-old colt, though, on the turf. And then Mount Sopris. I'm not familiar with that geography. But we don't talk about Warfront too much anymore. But for about 5 years, he was the guy. We basically lived with watching his stallion fee go from like 20 to 30. I think at one point it was 150. It's 75 now. 8-4-2.
I went with Schwarzenegger on top, morning line favorite. And I couldn't ignore the workouts. It's Wesley Ward with a turf sprinter. I did some stats on Wesley Ward. Wesley Ward, 2-year-old, first time starting turf sprinters. He's very good. Up here at Saratoga, it's been a little slim, however. So I debated going in another direction, but boy, those workouts, they paid almost $1 million. Not this time. 49 first-time starters this year, 9 wins, 5 seconds, 11 thirds. Solid numbers there. Sibling called Don Alfonso. That won in the 3rd career start, so a little bit of win early there. But again, the workouts just jump out at me. So I went with Schwarzenegger. Intricate Spirit for West Point. Complexity, first-time starters this year, 36, 4 wins, a 2nd and 6 thirds. Dam has produced a couple of nice early running siblings. Spirit Prince, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, then 1 in the 5th start. Layered won the career debut, so win early type siblings. Same with Brooklyn Styles. There's a sibling called Wood Ceiling that won the career debut, and Munnings obviously very good with debut runners as well. So for me, in the 6th, 4-6-7-1.
Take quick. When we come back, the Hall of Fame.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops, my bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
All right, seventh race, the Hall of Fame Stakes. 3-year-olds going a mile on the inner.
I couldn't get past Zulu Kingdom, 7, 8, 2, and 6. I mean, Zulu Kingdom, 7 starts, 6 wins. The lone non-winning effort was out at Del Mar last fall in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Other than that, a perfect record, including the Manila right up here on July 4th. In a similar race, I think, as I say, I couldn't get past this one. I think set up very well today for Chad Brown and company. Flavian Prat again on board. Second slot will go to Tank. This one last seen in the Belmont Derby on July 4th weekend, showed some speed before fading. That was at 1 1/8. With that early speed, might appreciate this mile a little bit more. So at a little bit of value. That one is interesting. And Luther coming over from Europe, ran in the Belmont Derby and ran, a decent third. There's a Group 1 fourth place, close-up fourth place finish, 3 starts back on the resume. We'll look for Luther to be a player in here. 7, 8, 2, and 6.
The race goes through Zulu Kingdom. I'm 6, 7, 4. Just a couple things on add-on bail. 15-1 on the morning line. Mike Maker's runner. 3rd start of the year. Most recent effort, yielding turf course at the Penn Mile. First time going a distance of ground. That was one of those rarity sets. They had a bridge jumper on Nibago, who was 3-5 and finished off the board. Dream On came from last to first. I thought it was a good effort going a distance of ground for the first time for out on bail. And this being the 3rd start of the year, John Velasquez gets the mount back. He just got beat for second. A tough course. I think something that's going to be the opposite of what out on bail is. So I'm taking a flyer here at a big price. Zulu Kingdom, as Seth mentioned, and the race he lost was won by Andre Matisse, who just ran in the Sussex Stakes, and then Maui Strong for 3rd, 6, 7, 4.
Race number 8, we are looking at state-bred maiden claimers. Tags are $30,000. The trip is 7 furlongs.
And here's where the weight gets heavy for the DePaula play of the day, 265. Omaha Pistol, I'm on board. Good early speed, shortens up from the mile when it was, maybe a bridge too far. Beaten favorite, though, 3 times in a row. Second, all of a suddenly going out for Robbie Falcone, has a 2nd place finish most recently at this level, comes back, major player in here at 6-1. And for 3rd, a firster for Carlos Martin, an Austrian Matoli, Ethereum, going with that. Ethereum with Chris Elliott on debut, 265.
2, 7, 6, and 1. Omaha Pistol on top for me as well. We will see what the added weight does for Omaha Pistol, but I agree. Showed some speed last time at a mile and cutting back to 7 today, I would think be beneficial. Third start off the claim for Linda Rice. She's a part owner as well. And as you say, beaten favorite in the last 3, but I think is set up to run very well this afternoon with that cutback in the trip and the early speed we saw last time. Second spot, Army Proud, goes out for Joe Sharp. Irad Ortiz scheduled on board. Third start of the season, up a couple of improving efforts that may have this one primed to jump forward again. And all of a sudden, Lee in the third spot. Nice try last time in a similar event. In the hunt half the time. Second 3 times. Third 2 times in 10 starts. So, given what we saw last time and the fact that this horse is typically in the mix, I'll go 2, 7, 6, and 1.
We'll take our final break. When we come back, the last daily double.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resorts Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race number 9, optional claimer, starter allowance, dashing 5.5 on the turf.
I'm 1, 8, 10, 6, and 8. And if I get past the top pick with an entry, I'll use both halves, just, because one scratches, you're okay with the other, and you kind of trust the trainer. But on top, I'll parse out if I like one notably more. And in this race, I definitely like Chessmaster more than Shefflin in here. So I have the 1A on top, off a nice win in an optional claimer starter allowance last time right up here at Saratoga on July 3rd. Now drops in for a 40 tag in a relatively similar condition, but last time wasn't for the tag. Today is. I think off of that last effort, though, a square fit in here. Chiringo in the second spot. Linda Rice trainee, second off the claim. Off the claim went for $62,500. Today they go for 40. I think that drop will be beneficial. And then Fluid Situation in the third spot. Nice little third place finish in the past 3 starts, actually. But the number tossed last time, I think, mixes it up in here. And that was sprinting on the turf in the 9th. 1A, 10, 6, and 8.
Not only one of the great voices in the game, he's early.
I love that.
1A, 8, and 6. And I completely agree with Seth. I want the 1A, Chessmaster. Now, you go with Shefflin. Mike Maker is a very sharp trainer, and old numbers on the synthetic at Turfway would be good. And I'm almost willing to take. I was almost willing to take that risk with Mike Maker, but at the end of the day, I'm with you. I want Chessmaster here. I just think he's in. It's a sharp barn going well, and he fits in here very strongly. Which, by the way, you're supposed to when you're 8-5. Cloudy, my second pick. I will say that my thought with Cloudy is this is the classic position to give back a little bit. I like the seasonal debut on our first day up here for the Independence Day meet, but I just expecting maybe a little give back. Boy, if he moves forward, he's going to be heck to pay with IRAD. And then for third, I had Fluid Situation for John Terranova, starting right next door to Chessmaster. 1A, 8, and 6.
Race number 10, we'll wrap it up a little after 6:15 this evening. Optional claimer starter allowance, 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
8-5-7 for me. Adrian is my top pick. Double-digit odds here. I was intrigued by the card. I could easily take a bagel, although that usually happens on Wednesdays. Ken Sweezy sends out this runner who I thought at nearly 50-1 was solid getting back on the turf. I'll take another of that types of run and take my chances at double-digit odds. For second competitive threat, Chad Brown's runner makes the third start since wintertime. 1-2 races back. Tried this level, was the beaten favorite, but you come out of maiden claimers 50, this is not an easy spot. You can find it 2L, but ran very well. And then Leslie Starr for Linda Rice, second off the 50 claim. So 8-5-7.
This is my dark horse play today, and I will admit a much shorter price but I just couldn't find anything else. So some days I have to kind of settle. Second choice at 3-1, 5-7, 4-1. Dark horse play today brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both on Broadway in downtown Saratoga. Stop by and say hello. You'll enjoy the visit. But I'm going to go with number 5, competitive threat. It's Chad. It's Klarovich. They're always potent up here. Nice win, too, back to break the maiden when dropped in for a tag. Then tried this company last time. Ran a decent third as the beaten favorite. I thought that was good enough number, improving numbers to give this one a slight edge over Leslie Starr. So I wound up, as I say, the price doesn't throw me as the dark horse play, but I'll make the dark horse play today. Race number 10, horse number 5, competitive threat. And yesterday, we had a good second with the dark horse. At top of the stretch, I thought we had the momentum we were going to go by, but the eventual, I think it was the second choice in the race, just wouldn't let us go by. It's a good second.
Well, we know one thing, it wasn't the favorite.
Yeah, no, it was. I think pretty sure it was the second choice, 2-1-ish that beat me. But Leslie Starr in the second spot, Linda Rice and Irad Ortiz second off the claim. First off the claim was a good effort. To think this one is going to be solid in here, and Life Advice in the third spot off a couple of second place finishes, bookending a poorer performance in the last 3 starts. But I would expect to get closer to one of those 2 seconds in the 10th and final, 5, 7, 4, and 1.
It's a beautiful Friday to come up for racing. You don't have to stay the whole day, 2-3 hours. Middle of the day, it's beautiful. I'm intrigued by the card. Obviously, as a public handicapper, I have 3 top picks who are double-digit odds on the morning line.
So you're really intrigued by the card.
Yes.
Coming up top of the hour, Marshall Graham. He's in the green room. Always fun to talk to Marshall. He's an owner. He's a player. He's a contest player. He's been tweeting out recently with some number crunching on the CAW activity. We'll hit on all of that in a few. Paul Halloran will join us. He's got a book coming out on Cody's Wish that will be out, I think, in the fall or spring of next year, I think it is. But we'll talk a little bit about that.
Releasing the book before the Derby is probably good.
Yeah, no, that's probably That's probably the game. Exactly the game plan. We're going to talk a little bit about National Thoroughbred League, which is something that's come on the scene in the last couple of years. And old friends at Cabin Creek, right up in Greenfield, they have an event coming up on the weekend, so we'll tout you on that as well. All top of the hour racing across America.
Beautiful day. Whitney Eve, ladies and gentlemen. He stays, I go. Have a great Friday.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.